I follow him inside and I'm using my phone, sometimes as an extra flashlight, sometimes as a camera. Right away, I realize that this treasure hunt is why Grandpa wanted me to take the grand tour. He knows I love finding stuff, and the old mill is like a gold mine. The first thing I discover is a solid brass doorknob just lying on the floor inside the mill office. Then I find 2 wooden bobbins loaded with red and green yarn. Then a giant pair of scissors, a tin box of sewing needles, an iron gear that weighs about 5 pounds, 2 old-fashioned fountain pens, a silver thimble, a key ring with 9 brass keys, a hammer with a big flat head, and a pair of antique glasses, the kind that pinch onto your nose. After an hour, I feel like I've barely started, but we've got a dinner reservation at Grandpa's favorite seafood place, so I'm trying to see the whole building before time runs out. It's after 5 o'clock and we're up on the 3rd floor, and it's bright and sunny with sparrows and pigeons flying in and out of the broken windows. There's not much to see, about 20 large wooden tables bolted to the floor and some rusty sewing machines next to the windows. I'm watching where I step. A lot of bird droppings. I point at the doorway on the far wall. Where does that go? Let's look. It's locked, so Grandpa gets out his keys, and it takes 5 tries to find the right one. I turn on my headlamp and pull the door open. It's a small storage room. Wooden shelves loaded with cardboard boxes, each one about 1 foot high and 1 foot wide. I brush off some dust and spiderwebs, and I carry a box out into the daylight of the large room. It's heavy. The paper ceiling tape tears away easily, and inside, buttons. Plain, dark, gray buttons, each a little smaller than a dime. I shove my hand deep into the box, grab some, pull them up to look, just like the ones on top. I bring out another box and open it, and then a third. Nothing but more of the same buttons. Grandpa says, "That's a lot of gray buttons. Must be almost 30 boxes. And it's okay if I take some of these, right?" Like I said, you can keep whatever you want. I scoop 2 quick handfuls into my bag, then stop. But really, Grandpa, I'd like to have all of them. He points at the shelves. All of them? Yes, please. What in the world are you going to do with that many buttons? I don't know, but I still want them, if it's okay. Now, he's laughing. Sure, why not? Take them all. Then he looks over the shelves again, thinking. It might be a week or so before I can get them shipped, but the boxes should fit on 1 pallet. And since you are my one and only granddaughter, I will make it happen. I just wish I could be there to see the look on your mom's face when the load arrives in Illinois. Latching onto these buttons, it's not weird. Not for me. And Grandpa knows that. And he knows Mom will understand too. After all, she's the one who stops the car whenever I spot a garage sale. And Grandma? She would have clapped her hands and said, "Perfect!" Grandpa has seen my room at home and how the drawers of my desk are just crammed full. Also, the top of my dresser and the tops of my bookcases and the windowsills. Actually, pretty much every flat surface in my room is loaded, including the floor. Feathers, acorns, and a really old calculator. Seashells, troll dolls, fake jewelry, rocks and stones, keys, markers and pens, coins, pine cones, paper clips, candles for my birthday cakes, every card and a letter I've ever received, old movie tickets, marbles, nails, on and on. And that's just the smaller stuff. I've also got 7 large snow globes, 9 dark blue glass bottles, a globe of the world from 1941, a slide rule in its own leather case, 3 plastic crates of vinyl records, and a wobbly piano stool. Also, I have a couple dozen stuffed animal toys, mostly cats, dogs, and penguins. Not to mention half a zillion paper bags and comic books, plus 3 full sets of Encyclopedia Britannica, which I've stacked into the shape of a big armchair. I have a theory about why I collect so many things, which I don't want to think about right now. Actually, I've got at least 5 or 6 active stories rolling around in my head, theories about all kinds of stuff. Because whenever I notice something I don't understand, I think up a possible way to explain it. And then I keep track of the facts to test if my theory is right. Which is not some new process I invented. It's called the scientific method. Still, wanting to own a whole storeroom of buttons, I might need to revise my theory about why I love all the things in my room. But I'm not lying to Grandpa. I really don't know why I want them all. I just do. Feels like an opportunity I shouldn't pass up. Like when I found that 3rd set of Encyclopedia Britannica. And Grandpa gets that. He's still chuckling and shaking his head. I look him in the face. Can I ask a favor? He wiped his eyes with a tissue. Sure. When I get home and I tell Mom and Dad and Ben about your building and everything, I'm not going to tell them about the buttons. Not till they arrive. So, could you not mention them until later? No problem. That's even better. He's laughing again. Grandpa probably thinks I'm going to keep these buttons a complete secret until they show up in Illinois. But that's not quite true. I'm going to tell one other person in exactly 6 days on the first day of school.